Hi, it's Colin Coward. I started The Volume to bring you some of the most authentic voices in sports. While you're here, make sure you hit subscribe. Thanks.
I was at SoFi Stadium last week, obviously. Got the cron, got sick, well worth it. Little LA Country Club Saturday, SoFi Stadium to watch one of the craziest games I've ever seen. And to watch the 49ers come back and ruin the Rams' day. It was very bizarre because the Niners win, they celebrate, and on Kroenke's his video board, which is circular, it's like because the Seattle Seahawks had just kicked the Cardinals' ass. They won the division that day. So it's like, you're AFC or you're NFC West champions. But it was pretty devastating. It wasn't your typical hats and t-shirt game. And that was a rough L. Now, it wasn't the ultimate end result because they still won the division. They still got a home playoff game, but you still lost the game. And to come back, and I know the Cardinals are a pretty gutless team in December and January, like the evidence is in. We'll get to them here in a second. That's impressive by Sean McVay. I've said it for a while. I'm a big Sean McVay fan. It didn't bother me when he was celebrating in the end zone. Like, be you. Be true to yourself. If you're Belichick and you have no emotion, have no emotion. If you're going to be celebratory, be celebratory. Sean McVay is a big boy coach. He has now won, obviously he won a playoff game last year on the road. He wins a playoff game again this year, easily cruises to a victory against a team that was once upon a time, I think 10-2 or 10-1. Kicked their ass. That is a absolute beatdown. But to get your team, after going through that type L, to get them not just ready to play, focused to play, but to come out like they came out, 21-0 at halftime, firing in all cylinders, look fantastic. Beckham's look really good tonight. Cooper Kupp's a star, getting Stafford under control in a playoff environment. There's no way around it. Don't let his age fool you. Don't let the faux hawk fool you. Don't let the limited body fat and the muscle mass fool you. Sean McVay is a big-time coach. And him studying under both Grudens and the Shanahan family, like that guy came ready to roll when he got hired for the job. And clearly, you're always better 5 years into a job than you were when you first started. He's really good. He really is. Now, he's had several coordinators. This is his third defensive coordinator. I have a lot of respect tonight for watching Sean McVay after what I witnessed personally have that team ready to come out guns blazing and execute an opponent. It's the playoffs, so listen, the Cardinals, are they a real playoff team? I mean, they won, 11 games. But, let's face it, they're not great. But to kick the living you-know-what out of them, hat tip to Sean McVay. That's what top-flight coaches do. They play a home game against an opponent who's inferior, and they curb stomp them right out of the building. They say, get out of here. You do not belong. And that's what Sean McVay did, and that's why he's a superstar head coach. I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but I say the same thing about Kyle Shanahan. Like, yeah, they don't have Super Bowls, but how many coaches would you take, like Belichick and Andy over those guys? I got news for you, not many. And on the flip side, I'm not here to dance on the grave of the Arizona Cardinals, but I think they have a question to answer. I looked it up when it was 28-0. Kliff Kingsbury signed a 4-year contract when they hired him 3 years ago with a 5th-year team option. And, in college, you never want a guy to be coaching on his last season because of recruiting, and it matters. People can negatively recruit you. I don't think it matters as much in the pros, but under no circumstances, if I'm Michael Bidwell, can I extend him. I think you could justify firing him, and you're not going to win with Kliff Kingsbury. So if you want to fire him, the time is now. And Steve Keim, who I actually think is good at his job, like Steve Keim at his job is better than Kingsbury at his job. The problem, though, is you can't allow a general manager to hire a 4th head coach. He's got a bunch of swings. They got Arians. That was awesome. The last couple hires have this one was better than the last one that was one and done, but this is not working out. They have a ton of talent. They're underachieving. Their quarterback gets worse as the season goes on. I think we have to question, is Kyler pretty overrated? I'd be the first to tell you his physical skills are immense. His speed, his arm strength, but as a player, he's not that good. not when it really matters. And as the season goes on, he gets dramatically worse in November, December, and now obviously in January. The throw he made tonight in the end zone was it's a baffling throw. I mean, that's Carson Wentz wants his playback. That cannot happen. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. I couldn't give that guy $100 million. And there are a lot of jokes on the internet. He should go back to playing baseball. No, but is this guy a franchise quarterback? Because right now I'd have red flags. Under no circumstances am I signing him to a long-term contract. I would probably pick up his 5th-year option, but it would not surprise me if the owner fires the coach and the general manager in the next couple days. The team has a ton of talent. Now, do they have a long-term quarterback? I think that is up for question. But listen, as someone who plans on buying real estate, hopefully in the sooner than later in the greater Scottsdale, Arizona area, general managers and coaches would be lined up to go there. They have players on the roster. The division is big time. They've had success in recent memory. But listen, Kliff Kingsbury is a dead man walking now. If they let him coach on his last season, I don't see how you give him an extension. And I'm not going to take a victory lap on this one because I don't root. Even though these guys, like Kingsbury's a millionaire, I don't get joy in anyone losing their job. But I don't want to say I told you so, but it was pretty clear this was never going to work. Couple things translate in football. Physicality, toughness. And listen, the game has changed. It's adapted. It's more of a throwing game than it ever has been. But you have to be physical in the playoffs. And you just watch his offense, and I know they fell behind. It's just so fucking soft. Sean McVay was licking his lips to play that team tonight. And I would say McVay, having watched him from a 49ers perspective, the Niners punk him because they're more physical. And you saw tonight the Rams shove them around. And the Rams have some physical players, but I would not say they're like the toughest team in the league. And that was a toughness mismatch. So the Arizona Cardinals flamed out again. This year was worse than last year because they were in cruise control for the division. Guys and ladies, the Rams lost Week 18. If Arizona just beat Seattle, who kicked their ass the final game of the season, they host this game. Now, do I still think the Rams could go on the road and beat them? Of course I do. But that's a pretty big swing. These home and road playoff games are a big deal. So they just totally shit the bed again down the stretch. Really, really bad. I did the math. They lost 4 of their last 7 games. They went 4-7 in their last 12 games after their start. That can't happen. That can't happen. You can't go 4-7 down the stretch. Not after that start with, 8 wins or 7 wins, whatever 7-0. They just lack a toughness. There's a physicality that isn't there. And part of it, to me, it's the head coach, the scheme, and the little quarterback. And I as someone who was a big fan of the little quarterback coming out, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not saying the guy can't play and he can't win you some games, but that guy's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. No chance. Absolutely zero. I'm out. So you won't hear me defending the guy moving forward. Thanks for watching 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description, and make sure you subscribe right now to the Volumes YouTube channel.